Hey folks, it's William with All Solar Texas. If you are in the Texas market and you're looking into going solar, maybe adding some batteries, or maybe even purchasing an electric vehicle, there's some information that you need to know that's going to be changing the way all of this equipment actually is priced out going forward. So if you've been paying attention to the news, there's been this back and forth about China. Trump has proposed certain policies about raising tariffs on China, and now we see the Biden administration taking yet another play from Trump's playbook. First it was the border, and now it's with China. In May of this year, Biden announced that there were going to be some additional tariffs on Chinese manufactured products. This really comes down to a geopolitical battle between the United States and China. China produces so much of what Americans consume as either raw goods or end products, be it clothes, materials, even things like steel and aluminum that come out and are used in construction. Now, we've been aware that China has been undercutting us as the United States for a long time. In fact, Americans really like low-cost, cheap materials and goods, which is what China has been happy to supply us for decades now. But it's come to a head. It's gotten to a point where the administration feels that they need to take some action against China, especially given all the other geopolitical factors that we see right now. So they are starting to put into place tariffs. Now, these tariffs are going to be not just against manufactured goods, the end goods, but also the raw materials. Now, how does that actually relate to higher prices coming in the solar industry? Well, the tariffs are going to be placed on solar panels, actually solar cells, which is the critical component of a solar panel. You could still have other parts of the solar panel manufactured here in the United States, like we will manufacture the glass, the aluminum for the frame, but much of the wiring comes from China, as well as the solar cell that also comes from China. Now, there's a 25% anticipated tariff that is going to go into effect around Q4 2024. So you can start to see prices increase for solar modules in 2025. In addition to that, electric vehicles, if you are wanting to purchase an electric vehicle, there is a 100% tariff that is going to be impacting that particular market starting next year. Now, electric vehicles are one of those things that we see coming out of multiple American manufacturers as well, Chevy, Ford, Tesla. But not all of the materials are sourced from non-Chinese sources, meaning that China is still producing the vast amount of lithium iron, cobalt, and material needed to manufacture those electric vehicle batteries. So if you take the standard electric vehicle, which is made here in the US, a lot of that vehicle, if not the majority of the cost of that vehicle, is coming from sources like China, where we are buying those refined resources, or we're buying that material and then manufacturing it, using it in our manufacturing process. Now, if you're not in the market for electric vehicles, then that won't apply to you. You don't have to worry about that. But if you are in the market for backup power and you're looking at batteries and adding a home battery to your current electric profile, whether it is a battery that's going to be grid charging, a battery that's going to be charging off a generator, a battery that's going to be solar charged, even the batteries themselves and everything within that battery that we currently source from China is going to be going up at least 25% by the end of this year, which you'll probably start to see manufacturers raising their costs sometime next year. So what does that mean for you as the consumer? If you've ever wanted to go solar or thought about adding batteries, really now is the time to do it. Yes, interest rates are still very high, which is putting the cost of solar and batteries and all these additional projects that you would normally be purchasing. But if you're financing, it's going to put it out of reach for you because of those interest rates. But now you're going to be seeing a slight break in those interest rates. The Fed is already predicting that they're going to be lowering rates a little bit. I wouldn't expect anything significant coming out of the Fed right now. Even though inflation is under 3%, it's still not where the Fed needs it to be to make any significant changes to the current interest rates. But there is an expectation that there will be some decline in interest rates at the end of this year, 2024. With that said, it will probably lower the price of financing as those interest rates adjust to meet that federal rate adjustment as well in the interest rates. But what we're gonna see is manufacturers now raising their price, which means that solar panels are gonna cost more, wiring is gonna cost more, racking is gonna cost more, batteries are gonna cost more, electric vehicles are gonna cost more, especially as we see more manufacturers wanting to take advantage of the incentives that the government passed through the Inflation Reduction Act back in 2022. They're gonna start bringing more of their manufacturing operations from abroad over here domestically at home. Now, they are incentivized to do that. The manufacturers have a lot of incentives, tax incentives and other federal incentives to do that. But there's not enough incentives for us, the end consumer, because bringing that manufacturing back from China or somewhere else over to the United States is going to raise the cost of those products inherently because of labor, environmental regulations, and all the other regulations that we have here in the United States is going to drive those costs up. So if you're thinking about getting into an electric vehicle or going solar, going battery, now is the time to do it. We have another 3 or 4 months left in this year, and then we can expect to see those price increases coming in, trickling in from manufacturers starting next year, which if you are on the fence right now, now is the time to buy. So give us a call at True Texas Solar, All Solar Texas. We're the same company, we're sister companies. Give me a call directly, email me, check out my website. Feel free to follow up and do some of the research yourself. I'll put many of the links below in the description so that you can really get a better understanding of where these price increases are going to happen, how much they're going to go up, and when they're about to take place. So thank you so much for watching us, and God bless.